I want a street one.
A street one? What does that mean?
Street Google.
What would you say?
So like, in it. I'm 15 in it. You say good morning, Google.
You just say in it all the time.
They say good morning, Google. Say you're right. Fine enough. You're right.
And what would you call her? What would you call your hub?
She would accept Googs.
Yeah, you're right. It'd be like she'd respond to that as opposed to you just chatting to her about it. Okay, you ready? Hold on, my internet's gone a bit funny. Hold on.
In Hackney, stop it down.
Yeah, we didn't catch that because the internet connection went, but I'm sure it was hilarious.
It wasn't.
Okay. Hey everyone.
Thanks for your condescension.
I'll just wait until you're finished.
Thanks for your condescension.
I thought
You
can't drink because your mic is picking everything up. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Self-Conscious. It is I, Shantell. And I'm here with
me.
Every episode, I don't know what you're going to say when I say things like that.
And yet, every episode you feel you must bring it up.
Yeah.
Let's go!
Okay. Okay, so we're going to be talking about, did we decide exactly what we're going to talk about? This is another episode for y'all murdery, podcast listening, documentary watching, murdery hoes out there. I would say OJ's a murdery hoe. I'm like a murdery mistress. Because I find that true crime is horror to me. So we're going to be talking about, I don't remember what this case is called, but I know it's on Amazon. If you've watched this case on Amazon, Hayu, I think it's on Hayu on Amazon.
Yeah, it's on a show called The Price of Duty. The Price of Duty.
No, you're right, yeah. And this is episode 4.
Yeah. So it's covering
what was your silence for?
I was waiting for you. I was like, she don't know nothing else.
Episode 4.
It's episode 4, and it's basically covering a case of this new detective, this guy who came in as a new detective, and it was a case. It was a murder that happened in an American store that called Lulu Lemon.
Lulu Lemon. Why do you not know Lulu Lemon?
I don't live in America.
But we have Lulu Lemon over here.
Oh, I've never been.
It is the most expensive yoga wear you can find. They started out doing yoga wear, now they do all athletic wear. Nothing.
I didn't know about them.
It's
anyway,
nice stuff though, but yeah.
It was a murder. And it was 2 women, 2 employees that worked there. One was found dead on the scene, and the other one was found badly, not beaten.
She had been attacked and hit in the head.
If you want to watch it, it's on Hayu.
We're gonna
watch it. We're just talking about it.
We're jumping in for those. This episode is for those of y'all like the last episode who watched this and was screaming at the device that you watched it on. Because every moment was just like a huh?
Yeah, so if you're gonna listen to this, watch it first.
Watch it first because there's enough spoilers.
This is spoiler, yeah. This is a spoiler alert.
Spoiler world.
Yeah, just turn off now and go and watch it.
Yeah.
And come back. And if you don't care, here we go.
Can I just express my feelings? What is going on in the world?
Crazy shit, bro.
That's mainly what I was saying to my TV.
Crazy.
To my phone. What is going on? What is going on with this girl?
So when I started watching it, Shan, I'm new to that show. I'd seen a couple episodes, but I'm new to it. And I got into that, and like I don't really like true crime that covers rape, because when it's like rape, murder, I'm always like, let me just that's a bit too far for me. But I'd read the blurb, and it said something like, oh, okay, Google, stop.
You got a phone call coming in?
No, I got to take my air medicine. I read the blurb and it said something like this new detective on the force, he was in this investigation and then he uncovered something that was so amazing and it was the first time. I was like, I'm intrigued. So I started watching it. So when they started talking about murder rape, I was like, no, back off. But the blurb intrigued me. So I just went forward to press forward into the episode. So I got to the bit just before the twist, and then I heard the twist, and I was like,
he had me right up. He had me right up until the moment he said it. I had absolutely no idea that was coming next. You realize we can see you, innit?
I gotta take my medicine. Health as well.
Oh,
so the twist is that the girl that was, you know what, you are right, but that is a stigma of ear infection, because all I found was stuff on children. It's like I'm not a child anymore. An ear is an ear. But yeah, so the fact that this girl went to the trouble of murdering her manager and then staging it. Like she and the manager had been raped and she had been left for dead, and the manager had been. I tell you, boy, so she says, oh, it was two guys that came into the store. They had masks on. They raped and they beat us and blah blah, right? And when you see the scene of the crime, it looks quite like
oh my god,
it was so very bloody. It was very gory.
Blood everywhere.
It was a lot. And it just looked like brutal. It just looked brutal. And that really puts me off, right? When I'm watching.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Whoa.
When I'm watching things, right? But like when they went over what she must have done, when I got to the bit where she was like, she tracked her footprint, and then she went back, I literally felt exhausted. I was like, I would have had to stop.
The commitment
I
in it.
would have had to stop, because I would have gotten bored. Too much.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, it keeps coming down. This is too much. I literally felt that I was like, I'm not physically fit enough to do this. It was so, and the fact that she was a black girl as well.
That hit me like it hit you. That didn't hit me in the beginning like it hit me. I was just
like, really?
That didn't hit me.
You can't be black and do crime.
No, of course you can.
This is what you were thinking about doing, really?
Yeah, but it was all because it was all because
all her life she had been a liar.
All her life she had been a liar, yeah, and she'd been stealing from all the other stores because she worked in other Lulu Lemon stores. And there was always things being like, there was like money from the till going missing and whatnot, and she had a history of this. So when she got to this store, her manager asked whether or not she had taken those, whether or not she had paid for the pants, because she saw the pants, and she said, yeah, I did pay for them, but she must have but then the manager called the she must have been a duty manager, called her boss and said, I think she's taking her pet. Yeah. I think she phoned the girl who she said rung her up, and she said no, Brittany didn't buy no pants that day. So then she called their manager, and the manager knew, and so she knew that come the next day she wouldn't have a job. But what she did to remove that woman's life from her body is unreal.
It was before when he said, when the detective said that the prints don't leave outside, he said, so I think that the murderer never left the building. I thought to myself, is he trying to say that the murderer found like an escape and they were inside the building all that time? And I was like, no, that can't be true. And then I thought to myself, hold on a minute.
I thought he said it, like other members of staff. It must have
before he said it, I thought
I was gonna itch my privacy bit.
Yeah, it must be.
Just about to scratch my boob.
Just before he said it.
Wait, let me have a moment. Sorry, everyone. Thank you. Hey, when the boob is itchy, man, you got a call for that. Go on.
Just before he said her, I thought, is he really gonna say this girl did this?
Oh, you thought that?
Yes.
I did not.
Just before he said it, I was like, no, he's not gonna say that this girl did it. And he did, and I was like, all the people in his office and even his wife was like, no,
That's
no
what I said.
way.
When he said it, I was like, no way, no way.
This
Because
girl
you immediately think about the scene and how like chaotic it was. That she'd have to have done that whole thing.
Okay, so do you think it was on the spur of the moment or it was like premeditated? Because the whole thing was that she pretended that it was premeditated, wasn't it? Because she pretended that she forgot her bus pass. But do you think it was on that day?
Premeditated on that day. I think she must
because
have
she
known.
knew by the next day the manager, the boss would know.
Yeah, but this girl was smart. I don't feel like I carry enough like instant coffee. That's what I'm gonna call that thought. You know, like the thought when you're on the spot, and you're panicking and you got to figure out what to do. I'm like I can get myself out of really like dangerous situations very quickly. Like my brain is like switched on. But something like that, where I've got to try and figure out how to mislead people in a situation that's happening right there and then, I don't carry that kind of instant coffee around.
That's because you know that if someone's... Yeah, but she murdered her because she was going to get fired.
Yeah, which makes no sense. Does that come under the umbrella of one of your psychos? Which one does that come under?
I don't know. I'd have to know more about her.
It's very extreme.
It would definitely probably come under narcissism in some way, that she thought that her life wasn't worth that. But I thought it was hilarious, the fact that she kept coming back and suddenly remembering things.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I forgot to tell you that that the guys let me go.
Oh, come on, girl.
The girl's car. You said 3 blocks away.
3 blocks away.
I was coming out of the store, I saw a police officer while I was standing there, but I was too afraid to say anything. So I got into the car, drove away, then walked back to the scene, let them tie me up. Like, what is this?
Like I said to you,
left and came back for
said to you, your best friend could have been, but like I said to you before, your self-preservation is high in those situations. Your best friend could be in that store, and the fact that you've got out, you're like, I've made it out.
Help.
Let me now go for help, for other people to help her. I can't help her because I might die. Self-preservation is high.
Wasn't it the thing of the Apple Mac thing, where there was a lot of people around because people were there? It was the first day the Apple Mac or something was going on sale.
Yeah.
So there would have been people around, as far as I can understand. But even so, you're right. She must have seen a police officer go by and be thinking, I need to cover my tracks. But they found her DNA in the car with exactly where she had the wound, or where she left the cap in there. I'm sorry, but
I don't know what.
That's too much. So she's gone. So she went to prison for life. To keep a job.
Keep a job. I don't know. I think it all got on top of her.
But I don't get this thing of like lying about being raped. Do they not know that they're going to do tests?
Moment, I don't know. Maybe with those individuals who are smart like that, like can recreate a scene or create a scene, do not have that little bit of like that logic. There's like that logic isn't switched on. That they don't have instant coffee in that sense.
I heard body language. Yeah.
Oh my god, when she was sitting on the chair inside the interrogation room with her legs hanging over the side, I was just like, what is so like that?
You're too relaxed.
So relaxed.
You're too relaxed. And then she did the voice like, and I was so afraid. And it's like, first of all, don't murderer. What?
Her brother was hilarious to me, because I'm like, I think he wanted her to fess up, and that's why he came back into the room. He did say to her, I won't rat on you, but I need to know. And then when she turned around and said, I don't want to talk about it here, I'm like, oh my god.
I don't want to talk about it here. Oh, you don't want to talk about it? Your mother? What are we going to talk about? What else? But she was smart. She was trying not to. I would have just said, if it was you and I had done that and I wanted to get away from it, I would have been silent. I would have just kept quiet and said, or I would have erupted into tears and be like unconsolable, because she knows that you can hear. I don't know why people forget that they have it recorded they're recording you all the time in your interrogation room. Dr. Phil said the only words that should be coming out of your mouth is lawyer. That's it. Don't drink anything, and you give them back the cut, they can take your DNA. Don't do anything. Even if you've not done anything, there's a lot of innocent
you can drink, but don't give away the content. Don't
Don't give the cut, but don't take anything. But when she said, what was it? Oh, when they found the tie on her, and they were like, so the guy who was like a CSI guy, the detective said to him, well,
I love that you can ask people that question. Did you know you could ask people questions like that? Like, what would we need to expect to see if this person had done that? I was like, I didn't know you can ask like that. Because I'm just like, no, but I would have said to him, what do you think? You think someone else was here? But he was like, no.
He didn't want. And that other guy who was like the DA, I don't know, he took a chance because he was like, I didn't look at the evidence.
Yeah,
when the detective guy thought it was her, I instantly thought, you best be sure, boy, because
you can't
accuse this person, you can't come back from that. You can't come back from a potentially raped and a murder as well to saying that she did that. But
it makes me think, I've said this to you before, that when you watch all these things, you realize that the person who may end your life, don't have no friend, don't go out nowhere, don't work nowhere.
They do say that most murders are from people that you know, most rapes.
So why are we so afraid in situations with people that we don't know?
Because that's not what they put on TV. We watch TV the most, and in books.
That police officer was really good though. I liked the fact that he eventually got to that logic, because I wasn't going there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was just like, yeah, you know what? It might have been some employees because they would have known the times.
So the ties.
Yeah.
He said you'd expect to find the ties would have been done with
teeth marks.
It would have teeth marks on it, and they said you'd find it on hers, but you wouldn't find it on the girl that was murdered, and that we saw it, and it's like, I was like, oh my god, it's the worst.
No,
I recreated it.
I was in disbelief the whole way. Yeah.
I didn't understand the footprints.
Her footprints were always underneath the size 13, which means she had to have got over her own tracks first. It was never that her shoes were sometimes over his shoes. It was just that one size was always over the other size, which would indicate that she did one set of footprints first, then she went back over with a larger set.
But what shoe did she use for him?
She used a size 13.
That was already in the shop. And everything came from the shop.
Everything came from the shop. Another indication that it was an on-the-spot inside job. Yeah. I'd like a follow-up on that.
She did the slash, she did the so when when she was in the hospital and you saw the blood in her head, it looked a lot worse than it actually was.
Yeah, it can.
It did. I don't know. When you saw it, was like
that. They never explained what she hit her head with.
I literally scratched myself down. Oh my god! But I don't know how I did it.
It's not a scratch
like that.
But when the guy,
it wasn't a lot.
No, I know it wasn't a lot. When the guy said,
for some reason,
when the guy said usually there'd be like maybe 50 something, maybe 70 marks on her body. And then say there was over 300 marks.
Yeah, that was passionate.
Impossible. I was like,
that's a narcissist.
Yeah, I was like, someone upset you. But she would have had to have gone, I think he said upwards of 10 minutes just on that body. And I'm just like, so at what point did you think, because the police officer said there has to be a point where you've decided you're going to end that person's life. And I thought he was going to say there's going to have to be a point where you decide
you're dying.
No, I don't know what it was. I wasn't expecting him to say that. I can't remember. But there is a point where you have to kill someone, in it. So she must have known she had to kill her from the beginning.
Yeah, I think I don't think she went in there to threaten her. She went in there to kill her so that she wouldn't be able to talk to the boss. Or if she had talked to the boss, who's gonna now fire a person who's been attacked in the store like that?
But yeah, this is why she did it. Because she knew that she had already made the phone call. Yeah. So that was the trigger for the murder. But
I tell you, boy.
I still think about that
now.
Yeah, over some pants. I still think about that. I still think about her because sometimes I lay down and I'm like, but this girl did the whole thing.
She did everything.
It took so much thought, though. So much thought. Let's go and get the shoes from the back.
And what she did wrong also was she said that the guys They were racist. They were misogynist. They were mad. They were everything terrible. And what was so weird to me was in the beginning was when she said when they killed the white girl, but they left her alive. And it's like, but if they're racist, wouldn't they kill the black girl and go for the white girl? But then she did something that a lot of narcissists do, is that she complimented herself and she said, they said to me, you're lucky, you're cute, we'll play with you for something like that. And I was like, no.
When she said that they lowered her body onto the other girl.
Yes. Oh, and she forgot to tell the police that. She forgot to tell. And it's like, no, you didn't forget. You just knew they were going to find your DNA on her body and there was no reason for that. And that's what got him thinking. He was like, wait, they've done all this. Why would they not? She was like, oh, they were taunting me. And it's like, why would they now lower your body on top of her body and then be like, okay, we're good now? It made no sense.
Yeah, because if you're going to kill one victim, in the beginning I thought, oh, maybe because they separated them, innit? That she said that they separated them, like she was taken down there. And I thought maybe that guy just got too overzealous and killed her, and that's why the black girl made it, because the guy who was with her, that was. No,
you would have killed both.
Well, he wasn't. No, there was two guys. She was saying.
Yeah, but they're in the vicinity of each other. Why would you leave them alive?
Well, because if you're masked or no one can see you, no one can identify you. But the guy, you don't know what the guy's doing down there to that girl. So if he's ended her life. I was like, oh, maybe that's why, because you got spot the guy who didn't do that. Huh?
It's very unlikely that they would end one person's life and not the other.
But they weren't together. They weren't together at the same time.
I know, but they were in the same store.
Yeah, but you don't. It's like if I robbed the store from you and I said don't take the watches.
I understand.
I said go into the back, and you end up taking something that I didn't know you took.
Yes, but it's very unlikely that as they're there and they're looking around to make sure everything's right and they haven't left anything, that they wouldn't have killed the other girl, because now one's committed murder, which is a capital offense. So you have the other girl who can identify them in some way, be it voice, smell, something like that. It's very unlikely.
Yeah, but then one would have had to have defended her. If one had killed the other one.
Yes, I'm just saying it's unlikely that they would have.
I don't know if it's unlikely. I don't think it's unlikely because then you've got this other guy who didn't kill the black girl and being like, I don't need to go down for murder. So no, you're not killing her.
But the other one would have killed her.
But no, not if the second guy who was with the Brittany girl, the black girl, had said no.
Yes, but ultimately, they're
I would
together.
Have to let you killed her in front of me.
Yes.
To make your point, and I'm like, no, because that looks like I killed her
not to make a point. Not to make a point.
But you know what I'm saying? That would look.
Yeah, I'm just saying from my experience watching these things, it's very unlikely that they would leave one alive. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying
it's not. But
I'm just saying it's unlikely.
I'm saying if they're all in the
because then she could possibly identify them.
But that wasn't necessary. If it wasn't their intention to kill them, but one person got carried away.
Yeah.
And it became a fatal situation.
I understand, but I'm saying now it's a capital offense. So you want to take away the biggest risk of you being caught, which is the person you've left alive.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm saying. I don't think that it's impossible for the other person to say, okay, but we don't need to kill her because now it's going to look like I killed her because this is the one that can identify me. Yeah, I don't think it's impossible, but
are you going to risk that person being alive and them telling who you are in the first place?
I'm not. Yeah, because if someone dies, it's a completely different offense. It's more years.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So wouldn't you take down the risk of being caught at all by taking out the person?
No, because I always think that these murderers end up getting caught because they always feel they need to get rid of the body. And if you left some of your victims alive, you'd probably make it. You probably wouldn't get caught. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but a lot of the times, like, big word, isn't it? A lot of the times, like, what made Brittany a suspect was the fact that she was the only person left alive.
And
really, she should be dead. by all reasoning. She should be dead.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but
Because
the fact that she had
more
to
than
keep,
likely
but
she
she
would
was
have
the
been
murderer, so
killed
she
as
had to stay
well.
alive, innit?
That's what I'm saying. So more than likely she would have been killed. That's
and
what
I
I'm.
agree
What
with
you?
you. But
Yeah.
if there's two men in a store and they
Conspiracy.
separate them, then I think it lowers the probability if that wasn't what they were intending to do when they came in. The fact that she said that when they went back to get her Metro card, which actually never happened, that they didn't lock the door. All I was thinking of was when I worked in the gym, I always locked that front door.
Mm-hmm.
Always. And there was some occasions where we had to go back in. And I always locked the door. I think it was our home training though. But you just lock the door. It's 10 o'clock at night. You don't know who's walking in.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that didn't happen here, did it?
Did she get parole? Like life without parole, do you know? She just got life without any parole?
Yeah, I'd like to be able to like follow up on her story. I'd like someone to do something so that we can hear exactly what was going on in her head at the time. Because she inflicted too much onto that other girl.
Yeah, because her it was the other girl's fault. That's how she felt.
Yeah, but she had a hammer.
No, if no buts, no coconuts.
There you go, folks. There you go, folks. That's OJ's
If no, do you want to get onto Epstein? We all of this out. What we did?
No, I'm tired.
What we did?
I'm too tired to talk about any more murderies. I'm too tired.
Right, let's do Epstein tomorrow then, because I'm fresh from Epstein.
All right, let's try again. I'm slumped on the floor. The Epstein thing is like, I've got certain things to say about that, innit? Basically, my summarization is me cussing people's common sense. I don't really have, not like Dr. Phil when he does like full blown analysis. Did Dr. Phil do something on
as far as I know.
Have you done anything on this case? Because it was in a part of America where like nothing happens in it, and then there was like 2 attacks.
Epstein?
No, the same one that we've just been talking about.
Oh no, as far as I know, no, but he may have done.
And they open back up the store,
Yeah, it's a business.
Yeah, but come on now, like you said,
you can't just close down the store.
You're gonna work in there, know someone was killed in the back.
I tell you what I would call up and say, look, transference is happening tonight, because I'm sorry, that's too much. There's too much now. There's too much.
Do you think anyone would know what they were talking about if you rang up and said that? I say
transference. Right. What am I gonna do? I don't know. I've never been in that situation, but I think that's stressful.
You said you'd never live in a house where someone had died. You said that, right?
When I moved here, I looked in the person's eyes, my neighbor, and I said, it was her friend, and I said, how did she leave? And then later on, my friend Anne, she said to me, were you asking it? And I was like, yes. She said, would you not? I said, no, I would not take it if someone died here. I would not take this place if someone died here. And she was like, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine when you're in a place where nothing's happening. There's no, but I don't know. I don't have to know to believe that something's happening.
I feel like we've talked about this before, innit? Like we are definite law of the universe advantage takers, but we don't need to be right about everything. Like I feel like there's some things I don't need to investigate.
No.
So I do have my views on that, but I'm just, if anything, I think that I don't need that kind of energy in my house where where every time I turn, I'm afraid. So I don't have to be great. Sometimes I think we set ourselves some impossible mountains to climb. Like for me, I'm pretty good at like altering my vibration, right? Being aware of what's taking me downstream and if I'm crawling upstream. But I think if you're not good at something, you don't have to give yourself the lesson there and then. It's just take it out of the equation so you don't have to do it. So yes, if I moved into a house and that happened, I know that I would be forever slightly on edge about that.
Yeah,
so why move into the house? Why?
You have a pact, innit?
Oh yeah, we do. I don't know if you're gonna do it, and I feel like I'm gonna be a bit afraid if you try to do it. You're gonna do it all
No, not that one. The one that if that person, you're allowed to just show up on that person's door and tell them something's going, they have to believe you.
Oh, good, yes. We should call that
the pact.
Yeah, but what should we call that? Like first beliefs. Please explain it. Please explain it for the people who are listening. I don't even know.
When did we make this pact? Like, I want to say like 2 years ago. No, more than that.
Years ago. You didn't have as much grey hair.
I used to watch. So funny, isn't it? I used to watch a lot of haunted stuff. Oh. It was haunted and it was true crime. But haunted would be the one that kind of tipped the scales more. I used to watch a lot of that. Like, I would watch them as soon as I woke up in the morning. There were times where I would wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning and turn it on. And so it wouldn't make any difference, right? And you started watching them with me as well. And so we used to watch.
Yeah, we saw the other
one. It was the American one, Adventures, Home Invasions. No, the Adventures.
I'm in that group on Facebook. That is scary enough.
Me and Sam was talking. I know. Sometimes I see it.
Have you been in their Facebook group?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm in that group.
So me and Sam would talk about this, and I remember before we made the pact, I remember telling you a story about. But we would talk about it. But I remember specifically.
Freak me out.
No. I remember specifically telling you a story about a family who moved into a house. And there was freaky deaky stuff going on, and they had a child, and basically you said to me, why did they stay there? And I said,
I watched it. This was on a
one of the really. But
that one made me go.
But I said to you that at the end of the show, so they had been there for like a few years. What was interesting, the universe was, is that they were going through a really bad time with money and stuff, and they found this house, and it was on sale, and so they didn't know why, and they were like, oh my god, it's our big break, and I was like, but they stayed there even though this stuff was happening, and they had priests and stuff like that, and at the end of the episode, they said. Yeah, so then we went to go and stay with my mum for, we just moved in. And I was like, what? Where was this in the beginning? Why did you stay there?
You had that option
about the conversation, and you said, why didn't they leave? And you said, you said to me, and I was thinking this as well, you would have lived out on the front porch.
I would have gotten a caravan and just parked outside. Just not going to be in that house.
And anyway, from that, me and Shane came up with a pact that if we're ever in a house where we know something's going on, that either one of us can turn up at the other one's door and just say, haunted. And we have to let them. You can turn up unannounced, and you have to let the person.
You have to let the person stay with you.
There's no go back now.
Questions. Don't even talk about how long
we're just like, oh my god, embrace.
Because
and embrace.
Because that's how I see it. You just pack up what you need. And you leave the house, and then you figure out what you need to do next.
Afterwards, that's right.
Why are you still in there? But how many things have we watched? Yeah, you just believe.
Oh, loads.
We've watched so many things where people were like, we didn't know where to go. I thought you just leave the house.
On the street is available.
Just leave the house. And you can't call police in them situations, no.
No, you can't.
You can't call police.
You actually can, but we won't go
anywhere. You literally have to call Ghostbusters.
Somewhere I watched one where no, I'm gonna scare you. Never mind.
Yeah, no.
I'll tell you. I watched.
No, I don't need anything linger in my mind. If we're gonna do a freaky deaky episode, then
no, it's fine. But yeah, we made that pact that the person could just show up and be like.
We also made another pact, but we're not going to talk about that today. We made another pact, which I think you're gonna mess up because you're gonna scare me when you do it.
No, that's not me messing up. That's you being scared. That's different.
Yeah, because I think you're gonna trumble in like this.
Is it? We can say what it is.
Yeah, but we'll talk about it on an episode where it's more appropriate, like when we're talking about those kind of things. But we have another pact that I think is gonna mess up. But yes, the whole pact. Huh?
Say what it is.
Say it here. All right, we have a.
It's like you don't know it's our podcast. Do you have somewhere to be?
But sometimes you don't have to talk about everything on the one show. You can wait until
this is your idea.
Like, let's say we did a haunted show, then you bring all the haunted things we've ever experienced and that pack. Okay, now everyone's like, what are they talking about? Yeah, it's a pack out of us. Listen, we have people now in Italy. So at least one person in
Italy.
Someone in Germany. We might have offended a lot of people with our last with our cultural episodes. But you know what? Black is not just for Christmas.
I know that I'm going through something emotionally when I start to dream about ghosts. I always know, like, when I feel that, I'm just like, you need to relax.
Is that the same when I dream about lions? I
don't
feel like I'm going through anything at the moment. I feel very enlightened. I feel like I have a super deep sense of awareness at the moment. Super deep. I'm sitting.
It depends how it makes you feel.
Contrast. Well, I'm very much like, I don't think you should try and cheer yourself up when you feel down. You should sit in it. Like the Buddhists believe this too. You should just sit in it. And I realized I did this a couple of days ago. I just sat in this little moment of contrast, and it eventually just evaporated. The next day I woke up and you know, you feel like you've gotten past something, but you're scared to think about it too tough in case it comes back. It didn't come. It didn't come back, and I was like, no, because you rode through it. You did not sit to leave you before. Because every feeling is an important feeling. That's your guidance system. You need the contrast. You create the contrast. Anyway. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Hey, that was on a chat?
Well, we started talking about ghosty. That is so far away from the murdery case.
Who cares? I've got stuff I want to chit chat to you about.
I'm a bit tired. This is our second week. We've
boatloaded
today, people. Boatload of episodes. Why? What are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about?
Just said you're tired.
Yeah, but what do you want to talk about? You know how I am.
I want to talk about dogs.
We should do an entire episode about dogs.
Sometimes you want to chat to me about stuff. I just want to chat.
Because I've got to tell people, I've got to talk about the training you put me through. I've got to talk about the audio book that I've been listening to.
Yes. Yeah? You say so?
It's worth an episode.
Huh?
It's worth an episode by itself.
You know, sometimes we could. All right, I would like an episode where we just chat.
You want to do a chit chat episode?
Yeah, just go on and chat.
Okay.
Let's do that.
We can do a chit chat episode. I'm down for that.
We're literally on the floor.
All right. Because I can't sit up anymore. I'm tired. All right, guys. Thank you for went a bit off kilter there, but it was fun. Thanks for listening.
You can't go off kilter when you're on podcasts. That's part of it.
Okay. You can watch this episode on YouTube, and you can listen to it on Anchor or anywhere where you get your podcast. Thanks for listening. As always, you can leave comments underneath wherever you're listening or watching this. Oh, how far have you got in your hair now?
Not enough.
You'll be twisting.
If I say it won't be done today, I'm interlocking.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right, guys. We'll check in with you soon. Have a good one. Hope you're staying sane and well. And it's a crazy time. No one knows what they should be doing at the moment. So peace be upon you and your family. There you go. All right. Yeah. Cool.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye. Ooh.
Hold on, us. Stay there.
Don't.